Hello, my name is Nathan Ashley, and welcome to my damage over time or dot status effect mechanic. Um, Moving on into it, the mechanic itself is kind of simple, but took quite a bit of time to figure out. But the way that I ended up making it, the system, or not the system, the mechanic randomly assigns a damage type to your weapon at the beginning of play, and then it also assigns an enemy a random health type. Now, whenever you roll, you do a status effect on the enemy, and these different status effects affect health types differently. So that means that if you have a shock weapon against a shield enemy, it's going to do more damage than against a flesh enemy, like that. Um, it's pretty I don't know if modular is the right word, but it's set up in a pretty good manner and is pretty expandable. So going on into it, I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. So as you can see here, you start off in a normal template, pick it up, shoot them. In the top left corner, you can see that it decremented the health for 1 second. That is a variable amount, but um, yeah. The status effect doesn't actually trigger every single time as well. It's on a random chance. And that random chance is variable depending on the data table's row value. Up next, we get to talk about the code. So this is probably the most important chunk or the main chunk of code in this mechanic. Now, what it is, it's called apply modular damage, and this is called whenever you want to apply damage to something. So what that means is that I placed this inside my enemy blueprint, which I will show you later. But yeah, I'm just going to walk you through a little bit about how this works. So what it does is it gets an input, which is a enum of damage type, which is a enumerator that I made. And then it gets that name, transfers it into a readable row name for the data table. Now, if it finds the row name, it goes through this sequence of checking to see if it can apply a status effect. And if it can, then it moves on to fill out the status effect logic, saying, okay, if your status effect is within this range effect, basically. So once it applies the status effect, it goes through the sequence and then it switches on the health type that is identified on the enemy, whether that be flesh, shield, or armor. Moving on, you can see that flesh, shield, and armor have some math attached to them. And if you look back on this previous slide over here, it's grabbing the information from the struct, which is the multipliers right here. These are the multipliers. So this takes your base damage times your multiplier, and then you go through this math, and it sets your current health to whatever it's supposed to be, depending on the structs. I mean, not the struct, the data table's entry. And then once the enemy has died, they die. Relatively straightforward. Moving on, this is the enemy BP that I was trying to tell you about. This is really it. It's just on the beginning of overlap with the projectile, apply damage. And then if the actor is dead, then destroy actor. This is really straightforward. So moving on, well, what went right? Well, the mechanic is fully functional and has no bugs, as you can see in the demonstration that I showed. And I'm quite proud of myself because I think I did a good job of compartmentalizing things and making it so that it's not really overwhelmed with variables and it looks all messy. So I'm proud of myself on that. because I was able to create my blueprint component health, which is where everything resides. I have my respective struct with my two different enums that I use to flip through things. So, yippee! There's not a bunch of random variables and a bunch of spaghetti. Well, there is spaghetti, but not too bad. Now, what went wrong? Uh, there is like zero art in this mechanic right now, which you could easily see. So needed to probably do more there, but that's all right. On top of that, the mechanic took longer than expected to create, with not as many results as I would have liked. Uh, Again, though, that's fine with me. I did my best, and unfortunately, I'm running out of time. So here we are. But on top of that, I didn't really have a whole lot of fun making it. I was on a very big time crunch, and it really just kind of just wasn't that fun. So, and then finally, I had some scoping issues. I tried to make it like really, really in depth and fancy, and it was just a little too much. So I had to scale back and make it a little bit more simple. And yeah, so here we are. Now, there is a little bit that I learned during this assignment. I already knew how to use structs and enums, but that doesn't mean I didn't learn more. I'm getting a lot more comfortable with them, and I feel like within the next I don't I don't know, a couple weeks I'll be moving. I think it'll be good. I really just gained a better understanding of how to use structs and how to use enums with those structs and how to flip through everything, and it was just it was a very good learning opportunity.